Told you it was a Valentine's episode.
Valentine's app?
Do you want to do the opposite of Valentine's?
Ooh, let me see here. What's the opposite of Valentine's?
Chris Delia.
Ooh, Chris Delia. You know, when stuff like this happens, everyone thinks that I'm going to talk about this for 6 hours. And, you know, their imaginations go nuts. In fact, when Chris Delia does stuff, it's usually... we barely can even watch more than 5 minutes of it because it's so horribly depressing and grating and annoying.
I know, Chris Delia is really not that fun to
Chris
watch.
Delia sucks. He even sucks, like, making fun of him sucks. He's that miserable. But this must be big because, and as I look into the story, I'm very concerned. Very concerned. It's like the other day when I got like 12 different people sending me something that happened on Tinfoil Hat. I go, why are you listening to Tinfoil Hat? You know, the fact that our Redbar listeners listening to Tinfoil Hat and, 45 minutes in, they find something to send to me. Why are you listening to Tinfoil Hat? That is not. That's crazy. It's kind of like that with this because Chris Delia was on Mark Rada's Soft White Underbelly. And I've never had, really, I never had more people message me telling me about this. Never in my life. I thought, you know, by the amount of messages I got, I thought Chris Delia did an hour interview about me. I mean, that's what it seemed like. I woke up the morning that Chris was on Soft White Underbelly. Alert, attention, stop whatever you do. Hundreds of messages. I'm not saying stop. I'm saying, wow, what could have happened in this? And furthermore, why is everyone linked into this Soft White Underbelly?
I mean, it's a pretty huge channel.
Well, or is it Mark? What is his last name?
Lada.
Mark Lada. I now direct my attention to you, Mark Lada, who I find to be more disturbing than Chris himself. I'll show you this Soft White Underbelly. It's this channel, and we've seen him on Rogan. And I knew this guy was up to something when I saw him on Rogan. He's this psychotic photographer who you can always tell when someone's psychotic when you've heard their life story a dozen times without asking. I've heard this guy's story a dozen times. He was a very famous advertising photographer. He worked for Apple and did all their campaigns. And then one day he wanted more, so he quit the marketing world and became a photographer of people. Okay. So he takes black and white photos and does these disgusting interviews with homeless people, prostitutes, junkies, crooks, pimps, and most famously, hillbillies, people of the Appalachians, incestual families. And while taking a look at his channel, which I'm going to pull up here, let's go to his channel first, the Soft White Underbelly. I noticed first he's got 5 million subscribers, so I'm pretty popular. Then I'm looking around, and most of his videos, they get 100K to 200K on average. So you've got 5 million people, you're only getting 200K on average. And as I'm scrolling through all these countless videos, and there's thousands of them, it seems, and here it is. You can see it's just the world's worst people, right, being interviewed to show the soft white underbelly of the United States, right? These are all the worst. Like, look at these black guys and all these crazy guys. But what I noticed is the one with these prostitutes, which he seems to do a lot of with street hookers and, like women like this, street walkers, they get the most views out of the bunch, right?
Those seem to be his fave.
Those seem to be his favorite when he's interviewing all these hookers. Now, I don't know about you, but I fucking hate toothless hookers. I don't want to be anywhere near them. He wants to be near them every single day so much that he quit his job at Apple to be around them. Now, Mark was on Rogan. Do we have any video of Mark here? Can you...
Here, I'll find a clip of him on Rogan.
Yeah, it should be on YouTube. You got to see what this guy looks like, because this is a big part of it, too. This Mark, this guy who interviewed Chris Delia on a channel that only interviews, you know, toothless hillbillies and prostitutes from the street. Prostitutes who, by the way, end up dying eventually. Like, most of the people he interviewed end up dead, you know, because he's been following the street. He, like, interviews them. He's like, anybody after you? He's like, oh, yeah, a lot of people after me. I'm almost killed every day. And then they do end up dying. You know, so these are, like, really dangerous. He's putting himself in a lot of danger. And I remember seeing him on Rogan, and I found...
I sent you a clip.
Yeah, let's see if we can look at that. I found him to be quite disturbing. Let's see. Here he is. On,
The Joe Rogan Experience.
When you first started doing these videos, did you have to figure out a way to balance your own mental health with interviewing these people? Because I got to tell you, like, I watched a bunch of videos today in the gym while I was working out, and I felt like shit. And I always feel good after I work out.
No, it affects people in different ways. Some people make, like, oh my God, my problems are not so...
Okay, so he's obviously, and this is pretty good lighting for him, he's terrifying. I mean, this one really, Joe Rogan's studio lighting, that's dimly lit, actually makes people look a lot better than they look. Do we have like a high-res photo of him? I mean, this really cleans him up quite nicely. You got to see him when you can see all the dots and all the lines, because he's a terrifying guy. Really has the vibe of a serial killer, and I just don't know why he's so obsessed with the prostitutes. And he has been accused, you know, for maybe going too far, which we're beginning to investigate here. Let's hear a little bit more of this. And he interviewed Chris Delia, and we'll show you why.
So bad, my life is pretty great. I've heard that many times. I've heard that more often, but I get what you're saying, because, like, I'm immersed in it.
Yeah.
You know, what you see on my YouTube channel is 1,200, maybe 1,300 videos. I've done over 5,000. Because not everything I shoot, like with you, you're doing interviews with Elon Musk and Dave Chappelle and, you know, Huberman, and they're great.
Adjacent
you
to
know
me.
they're going to.
Here we go. I think this
you
is
don't
the
need
one.
to do 8 or 10 in a day.
Look at
like
that.
I do.
Right.
So,
like I'll do 6, 7, 8, 9,
damn
10
it,
in a
because this
day,
is important. Hold on.
hoping to get.
You could pause that. Or no, you can't, actually. Okay, this is important here. When a man's hair... Okay, this is how you know somebody's fucking psycho. Let me zoom in enough here. When a man's hair starts Bidening, a.k.a. poltergeisting, run. Do you see his hair? It's almost like an SNL wig, right? So what's up? Guys with hair like this are psychotic. Okay, that's all you need to know. So everybody messaged me, Mike, you got to see Chris on Soft White Underbelly. And I did see it. And my, you know, rough thoughts on this is it's more of the same. I don't know. You must not be watching Chris Delia. You know, we have to. It sucks watching him. I don't think anybody actually even hate watches him except for me. And I only do it when under assignment because it's so bad. But
I mean, scroll to the bottom of that note right now and click his channel. It's underneath that stuff.
Chris Delia's, yeah. I'm not seeing that. Let me go
Like,
back.
go all, no. Scroll past those pictures.
Yeah, now it's here. Facebook?
Yeah.
Okay. Look at this.
Oh, wait.
Nope.
That's the wrong link. I was just
Wrong
going to say,
link.
hold on.
Okay.
I'll find
put
it
this
for
together.
you.
So, but what I saw in the Soft White Underbelly is just stuff I've heard Chris say about 1,000 times. The only thing different here is he's just gotten a little bit more rehearsed, but the rehearsed sound of this is actually what screwed him over here, because God knows what Chris thought was going to happen, but I'm assuming he thought this interview would really help him and help tell his story and make everybody feel bad for him, but he came off as a complete psychopath.
And I texted you the link to his channel. Not even his own fans really want to listen to him talk anymore.
Okay, let's see this. So if you go to Chris's channel, this is super good. This is where he keeps his podcasts here. His views are down. Like, here we go. This is an hour-long podcast here. 5.6K views. But that was only 9 hours ago. But here you go. Here's congratulations from 6 days ago. 51K views. So his podcast now gets 51K. I mean, this is a guy who was reaching 1 million at one point, right?
Yeah.
He was high up there. I mean, he was at least 500K an episode. So for that to drop to 51K is nonsense now. Okay, 51K is a Redbar clip after 6, 7, 8 years. But it's really not enough to have a living. That is a busted up living when you're getting 51K views. So people are getting sick of Chris. In this interview that he did, really backfired. But it also backfired on Mark Leda, okay? Because Mark exposed himself as a guy who's almost trying to use Chris's story as a way to defend himself against some allegations that might have come up. Here's what really got people sickened. Not only the fact that he interviewed Chris Delia, and he seems to be trying to help him out. It almost seems like, because you go, why is Chris Delia on this channel? What does his story have to do with all the other stories you've been telling? And the thing that was, I guess, a bit different in this is Mark is trying to tell people that the allegations were all bullshit and that Chris was being unfairly canceled. And he's basically sticking up for Chris and trying to get Chris back in everyone's good graces. But by doing that, everybody started going, Mark, this is a little suspicious. You know, like, you're his friend? You're saying that all these girls were lying based on what? And then he pins this comment. Then Mark pins this comment. Let's go to the comments here. This is where things got really crazy. Where's the pinned comment?
It's under yours.
Oh, it's under mine. Okay. Here's the pinned comment, pinned by Mark himself. This is really psycho. Look at this. Innocent until proven guilty. Twitter isn't a courtroom. None of these women had anything to say until one tweet about his character on Workaholics and You went viral.
It's not true at all.
None of the screenshots shared suggested any wrongdoing.
Also not true.
In fact, there's more evidence that shows he rejected women under 18 via direct messaging. Does that mean he's not a sex pest? No. The guy clearly had a problem, and he's always acknowledged that, but that's not what he's being accused of. He wasn't canceled for what his true problems were. Strangely, there's a number of men who love to hate this guy, but refuse to acknowledge that the young women are hot. The biggest porn category is teen. Say what? Furthermore, since his return to comedy, not one of his alleged underage victims has ever come forward to call for justice. None have ever filed charges. The only people that appear to be hurt or broken by all this remain to be Chris.
Not true at all.
The haters online are the only people that are upset about something so complex and nuanced. Watching a YouTube documentary doesn't mean you have an expert opinion. Facts are important, but trolls online are forever. This comment was pinned and hearted by Mark Leda. What the fuck, buddy? So
he's done something. That's information enough for me.
Either Mark is guilty of very similar crimes, and
someone in the chat just said, I don't know if this is true, but that he's been dating a girl that he met interviewing on his channel for like a year.
Wow.
Was she a sex worker before?
Probably. If he met her on this channel, she probably
black. More.
She probably black. And the black girls on this channel, they're like if Little Kim never made it in rap. They are fucking vicious.
But Chris is acting his ass off in this one.
Yeah, so
the whole
Chris,
first part is just BS, but his childhood, no one cares.
Just a bunch of BS. What should we show him a couple clips? 3615. And Abrams has been activated here. Of course, the Abrams method for crying on film. Chris has studied it well. He's got Abrams down. He thinks he has all this down. But just like how once you've done the same bits in your stand-up, it gets stale and the audience stops believing in you. Stops believing you because you're not showing the same passion for the rehearsed, scripted jokes that you've been telling every night for 2 years. That's why comics want to film a special after about a year and then start over because the material gets too stale, everyone's heard it, and it stops being believable because you don't have any passion for it. Well, Chris, that's about where you are with your rehearsed story about you doing nothing wrong. People can see that it's a bit over-rehearsed, and they're not quite believing it anymore. So what was that first code here?
3615.
3615. Let's see him do some acting. There we go.
We're smarter than the room.
But what's been the roughest thing you've had to deal with in your life?
In my life, the roughest thing I've had to deal with was being canceled and my life blowing up. 100%. It was the hardest thing I've had to deal with, I would say. Yeah.
That's got to be terrible. Being in the public eye.
Yeah,
And
it's
being singled out like that.
it's horrible. It's horrible. It's horrible. It's funny because there's never a.
It's funny because it's in an adjust. I seen that in a show.
I mean, and the whole first part of the interview was talking about going to acting school.
I mean, guys, this is the thing, too, about these actors that get in trouble. You can never really believe what they say because they have the ability to act. See, when normal people get in trouble and they tell their side of the story, you could kind of figure out if they're lying or telling the truth because most people are really bad at acting, okay? So it's very hard for them to tell a big lie. But an actor and a rehearsed comedian could tell a lie no problem. They've practiced for this their whole life. That's what they do every day. They tell a lie and they make it believable. So the fact that this isn't even coming off as believable is a big problem. I mean, look at these faces. This is, the acting teacher would you need to stay after class. We need to work on this a little bit more. I don't think you'd even be in the play with this acting. So look at him ponder. Look at him think. Here we go. We'll zoom in here.
I would say. Yeah.
That's got to be terrible. Being in the public
that
eye.
eye squint. That's
Yeah,
acting.
And
it's
being singled out like that.
it's horrible. It's horrible. It's horrible.
Wow.
It's
It's
funny because there's never a
This was a time when a lot of guys were being picked on, right?
taken down. Yeah.
Taken down.
There's not.
yeah.
It's always weird. It's always interesting talking about it because I still feel like there's no real right way to talk about it without people just, being angry at.
Cut to that fat guy with the beard. That is false. The lie detector guy. Cut to somebody edit that in. Cut away of him going, that is false.
Yeah.
So it's basically just a bunch of whining and acting. Did we have any other clips here?
A good acting moment is 4233.
4233. But it's great. If you read the comments on this video, nobody's buying it. Maybe it even converted some Chris Delia fans over to thinking, oh, wow, he kind of looks insane here. And the stories probably don't quite add up to the stories you've heard before.
And there was that one pinned comment sticking up for Chris, but the rest of the comments
are all against him. Oh, yeah, that's the thing. We really hope he reads them. And I think he had to read them. And you know what? This is the first time where it's really all in one place been articulated really well. So, Chris has kind of had scattered apologies and comments here and there, but now you've got a place where it's got a ton of views. This is the full story, and every comment, almost every comment on this video here is negative, and they're really frustrated now, okay, the commenters, and they're going out of their way to extremely articulate well why this is BS. So it really backfired for Chris. And yes, I hope he went there thinking it was all going to be, we love you, Chris. Don't worry about this, because that's what they've been doing up until now. So I hope he went there and saw, because the way these people spelled it out, and it's almost undeniable, you know, the comment section. And they're being serious. And there's no reason not to believe what the comment section is saying. So I hope Chris saw that, and I hope that shattered his confidence about whatever kind of comeback he's trying to do. You know, it's not good enough that you could just sell out theaters and still be a fucking millionaire.
Why do you have to do
That's
this?
not good enough? You need to be a Hollywood star again? Everyone needs to like you? You're very lucky that you have anything left. Just be thankful for that. Stop, you know, keep your head down, because now you've restarted this whole investigation almost. Now everybody's back to talking about all the things you did and discussing whether or not they're true and looking further into it. And now they're almost convinced that you're lying because of this performance. So nice job, Mark. I don't know what you were going for here, but now you've kind of both looked guilty. Let's check out this acting.
Celebrity is an intoxicating drug.
Yeah, man. I would.
Especially for a young man.
I wish. It's a weird thing.
I can't believe the pinned comment says, what people aren't understanding is young girls are hot to everyone. Teens is the most searched porn category, so how could you be mad at a guy for actually wanting to fuck a teen?
Like,
that's what the top pinned comment said.
And Mark was like, makes sense.
Exactly. This is what I've been trying to tell everyone. Teens are so fuckable. I mean, this is, they basically, Your Honor, it's here. Lock them up.
Because it's like everyone thinks it's the goal is to be famous.
Look at this acting.
And it's not bad. It's
Shaun
just
of the Dead.
there are good and bad things to everything. And it's just hard.
Oh, that eye. Oof. Look at this. Look at this acting.
Piece of shit. I like literally hate him
Look,
so
watch.
much.
It's just
Whoa.
hard.
I seen this in Barry.
You can't surround yourself with people that are just like, you're
Lie.
great. Because then you'll become an insane person. Because you're not great all the time.
Oh my God.
I remember thinking,
Look at
like,
this.
I remember too, my dad, when I was younger and coming up before I even really was any name or had any kind of people come see me.
Oh,
My dad would say,
oh, Dr. Abrams.
you have to be careful because people are going to start to like you.
Your dad would say,
And they're not gonna
Chris
know
is
you.
fine. He
Yeah,
is doing fine.
that's all I know about. I trolled your dad once. We had a bunch of people say, oh my God, Chris. To the dad, I always said, you want to get back at Chris, start bothering that fucking dad at work. The big producer. This was the biggest humiliation of his life and career. So you want to get back at Chris. Yeah, okay, we can't throw him in jail, but we can make it not fun, right? So bug the dad about it. And they did, and the dad's response was, what? What's wrong? No, Chris is fine. What are you talking? But yet now in every interview we're hearing your dad was a wreck because of how horrible you've been. What? What is this about? Chris is fine.
Is he lying or are you lying?
Yeah.
And it's very easy to get a chip on your shoulder. And don't let that consume you. And I knew everything when I was younger.
Did you see that? What is this, Decker?
That smile.
He's looking like Turkington with this haircut here.
Oh, please. Turkington.
I mean, yes, Turkington looks a lot better, but this is about as ugly as Chris has ever gone here. This Edgar Allan Poe look.
Do we still have
But
our
look
mask?
at this. We do have the mask somewhere, the Chris Delia mask, the famous prop from Redbar. Watch this little turn here.
I knew everything when I was younger. So
Wow.
A Taylor Swift lyric?
You knew everything when you were young. A Taylor Swift lyric, yeah, you're absolutely right. When you are young, they assume you know nothing. Wow. Look at your lips. This is the gayest face I've ever fucking seen, by the way. You like to zoom in on Redbar? Huh?
Oh,
Go read the comments, then watch your Redbar tonight. Huh? Make sure your wife and your kid is there, too. Could he understand English yet? That nut kid of yours, Calvin. I got my time capsule for him of everything you've ever done. This is going in the time capsule. I had to dig it up from the yard to put in this interview now. And then all my coverage, I spell this all out to Calvin on his 18th birthday. He gets the time capsule to see what daddy do. And what are you going to do? Are you going to, like, pretend it's an action movie and try to stop me before I deliver the capsule? You know? I'd love to see it. Because that capsule is getting you. I'll have a handcuff.
You'll never
handcuff to the capsule.
If you try to stop
it's going to be like John Wick.
Lock the door of the Jeep. What are you going to break the window? Exactly. It's illegal.
And you get really worried. Whenever there's conflict, Chris gets very scared and worried. So believe me, I'll be able to deliver this capsule, no problem.
I didn't really listen, you know. And it's kind of just what happened. Yeah.
What are the worst sides, worst aspects of, or what are the worst things about going through something like that, being canceled? Your family's got to.
Yeah, the worst thing
that was
about
so Decker.
Oh my God, isn't it?
He did an
Chirkington.
But
I mean,
the face that he did.
Yeah, look at this in his eyebrows.
Your family's got to.
Yeah, the worst.
He almost looks like he's got the unibrow from Neil Hamburger there.
About one of
which
the
I
worst
just
things
liked.
about going through something like that is people
life
think
zips.
Yeah, it's so fucking stupid. What do you need to unzip your thigh for?
And you've been getting tattoos during this whole time. That's like not the time of your life to like get tattoos if things are this bad, right? Want to get tattoos to remember this great time of your life? You get tattoos when everything's going awesome. All right, were there any more clips from this?
Go to 49:45.
49:45. Whew. He don't say nothing either, huh?
No.
What does Chris think about me?
The most he'll say about it is that he used to be a womanizer.
No.
That's what he describes
yeah, of course.
it as.
Doesn't look good wearing this convict shirt here either. You look like a prisoner.
It's not. It's just going to be through who I am, and they're going to know who I am. And I don't know, man. It's just all such a fucking. I hate to say something so generic or like hashtaggy, but like, man, life is so fucking crazy, and there's so much like love and pain and in it, and it's so real and palpable at sometimes. And
you know, the other thing too, this guy's on several pills. Don't forget, you know, it's very easy to be sentimental on a pill. It's almost, you can't listen to it. And I say this to all Chris Delia fans when you see him. You know, the pills allow him to conjure up these tears. The pills allow him to speak in these broken sentiments of sentimentalism. Stop listening to people on pills. They're emotional. They're high. Okay? It shouldn't be fair that people get to take these pills. Or at least they shouldn't be able to publicly speak on a pill. Unless there's a disclaimer. By the way, here's what he's on. So, you know, you can't really take it seriously here. Wait. Oh.
you know.
Did he die?
Yeah. I fucking hate going to therapy. I go to so much therapy and like.
The twists and turns and the ups and downs.
And by the way, Mark Laita's photos suck. Anyone could take these. Okay? This background is terrible. Okay, were there any
you could go to 59:29. This one's a little fun.
59:29. What do we got here? Oh, okay. Listen to this. Here's the real
The
problem
real
with all
reason
this.
he's in trouble.
Yeah, the real.
Yeah, that's social media.
It's social media. And then you go, and then you're like, oh, you might see 15 people on social media hate you, and you think, oh, this is the worst day of my life. But then you go out on the street, and everyone's like, hey, it's not real life.
Oh.
So, yeah, but you still got to keep saying it, and they are trying to take every comedian down in one way or another, whether it's with what you say or accusations or what. But
They are trying to take every comedian down. That's true, because he must be talking about Redbar here. That's the only way this is true. They're trying to take every comedian down one way or another. This is just what they chose for me. Really? You're going to allow this, Mark Leda? You've talked to every junkie, homeless, liar, and crook in this county. You know what's bull, right? They're trying to take down every comic one by one.
Look at how pleased he is with himself.
He's
after
like, that came out good. People, that's a way to describe it. Yeah,
saying
perfect.
it.
Listen to this.
And they are trying to take every comedian down in one way or another, whether it's with what you say or accusations or what. But yeah, it's.
I think the goal is just ignore it.
Yeah, it is. The
Just do
goal
what you
is
do.
ignore it.
Oh, yeah.
The goal is ignore it because I think smart enough people can sniff out. I think smart enough people can sniff out who you really are.
What's real.
I think.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and what's real and
So we're all stupid. We're stupider than you, huh, Chris?
I mean, I'm not up here right now bullshitting, and people are going to still think I'm bullshitting. And people are going to think I'm not bullshitting.
barely anyone.
So, like I said, the only thing that matters.
Why don't you try this? Make something really funny, and then all these scumbags will like you whether you've raped their own daughter or not. They don't give a fuck. Have you not seen Kanye? Have you not seen Tate? Have you not seen Trump? Do something they like. You've got the fan base. Stop trying to convince us with another round of story that you did nothing wrong. That doesn't work. Come out with an amazing comedy special. Then you'd get some fans, but your stuff stinks. So what are you going to do? Every 6 months, you're just going to retell this story and hope that we buy it this time?
And he's really obsessed with people accepting his story
Yes.
and liking him again. I don't know if we talked about this on the show, but he can't tweet anymore because
this
if
was
he tries to tweet, all of the replies are like,
Yeah.
oh, you're a rapist, blah, blah, blah.
He quit Twitter because, every time he pokes his head up, they attack.
But we
Millions of people.
We found out during the Joe Coy Golden Globes that he's been threading.
Yes, listen to this.
In secret.
So we see on Instagram, we get an alert that Chris Delia posted a thread. Remember Threads? They tried to do a Twitter of their own on Instagram, and you can't imagine anybody's over there. We go check Chris's profile. He's been threading as if it's Twitter. He found his safe space on Threads. Now, did that kind of get...
And
fucked?
so I was looking at his threads.
Yeah, his
and
threads.
He was doing all of his stupid jokes.
He feels
and blah,
safe
blah,
on
blah.
Threads.
He felt super safe. He wasn't getting any hate. Only his fans were seeing it. And then he tweeted something about, that wasn't so bad. Leave Joe Coy alone. And that blew up for some reason.
On Threads.
And then his threads now were filled
Now
with,
his
"Fuck you,
threads."
pedophile.
Yes, so
blah.
he really was getting a kick out of being in the safety of a thread, the safe space, the nice zone. But yeah, then he threaded a little too much. It got too big, and then again, just like he gets on Twitter, pedophile, pedophile, pedophile. So now you can't even enjoy Threads. Maybe that's what this interview is about. He needs... Does anyone have another social network that is still sort of mainstream that I could speak freely on?
Not yet.
Not yet.
To wait.
And it's hard to keep this in my mind, but the only thing that matters is the people who truly know me.
Okay,
know
shut
me.
the fuck up. Go to
And-
104.30 for that.
Here we go. The end. 104.30.
Can't stand this.
Nope, that's not right.
See, I like
01.
can't. The second he starts talking, even it's funny for like 1 second, and then I start to get mad.
Exactly. Then you just start to do that. He's horrible. Here's the end, and I think we're going to see some tears finally. Maybe.
He's trying to Abrams. He's not in the best.
Chris, what would you say is the most
state.
important lesson you've learned in your life?
The most important lesson I've learned in my life.
He's trying. He's
Trying to
pinching
get this.
through that. He unzipped that zipper and is
Yep.
pinching his thighs.
The pills are
so
muting. The
fucking
pills
hard.
won't let him cry.
Probably,
Come on, force one out.
Push.
Squint.
Push.
that I'm okay as I am, you know. Took a long time to realize that, but probably that.
It's like the end of the fucking Shining.
Okay as I am, yeah.
I mean,
Oh.
I feel like he might have lost some fans from
That's what I'm
this.
saying. Soft White Underbelly by Mark Leda. I do not trust him, but I also am scared of him, so I will not be talking about Mark anymore
But he's
because I
very
feel like he
bad.
cleans up things like me. Okay? You know, Mark doesn't let people like me start going after him. So, Mark, you win. I'm afraid of you. I won't accuse you of anything, but people are watching now, and Mark is evil. That's what we've got here in our notes. CoffeeZilla agrees. I was texting CoffeeZilla about it. And more importantly, Lala Ya agrees in the Bring Back group.
He knows
I've never
things.
seen him be wrong.
He's
he
never
knows
wrong.
things. Yes, he knows things like a voodoo priest. He knows things. I just gotta have a sip of this.
Sip time.
Mm-hmm. So that was Chris. Were there anything? Did we miss anything of that? Because that was very important to a lot of people.
I think that was. I mean, a lot of
Chris.
people covered that.
Oh, they did.
I mean, did they? It seems like it was everywhere, but maybe not.
How about we do this? Incredible surprise. Would you like that?